There is a unique case in the history of art forgery, a case that changed one of its most basic assumptions, that forgery is driven by money. For around 3 decades, Mark Landis, an American artist, forged hundreds of paintings and donated them to 46 museums across 20 states of the United States. He never sold them or had the desire to become wealthy. He was searching for something else, human interaction. After losing his father and years later his mother, Landis became increasingly isolated. So Landis constructed a network of false identities and invented family histories that allowed him to move unnoticed between museums. His most frequent persona was Father Arthur Scott, a Jesuit priest, carrying out the wishes of the deceased relative to preserve a family legacy. He has the ability to convincingly imitate the styles of 19th and 20th century painters and began reproducing works associated with artists such as Walt Kuhn and Marie Laurencin. His methods were surprisingly simple, working from digital images, books, and postcards. Fluid printed reproductions onto boards, distressed them with sandpaper, and painting over them by hand. He then donated the artwork to museums. Museum staffs accept the gifts. Why would anyone suspect to a donor? The artwork came free of charge, no negotiation was required, and so for decades the donation continues, until 2008, when Matthew Leninger, a registrar at the Oklahoma City Museum of Art, became suspicious after receiving a donation. The story surrounding the painting seems familiar, and he contacted other museums. He discovered dozens of institutions across the country had received similar gifts, the same kind of artwork, the same stories, and often the same donor. But the most surprising discovery was not the scale of the deception, but the absence of any financial motive. And because no money had been involved, prosecution was extremely difficult. In many cases, museums prefer not to publicize the fraud. Admitting that they have been deceived is almost as embarrassing as the deception itself. Years later, in 2012, Matthew Leninger organized Flux Real, an exhibition at the University of Cincinnati featuring 90 works by Mark Landis. And in 2014, Mark Landis became the subject of the documentary Art and Craft. For a man who spent much of his life struggling with psychiatric problems and loneliness, museum offers something more valuable than money: recognition. Perhaps that is what makes this case so unusual. Most forgers seek wealth. Mark Landis seeks a place in the lives of others.